What's going on, guys? It's going to be October the 23rd. I believe I skipped a day. I'm still sick right now. Haven't got around to editing this until today. Today actually being the 27th. This is the deadlift day where I believe I pulled 435 for 2, I believe it was. And if you watch along long enough, you're going to see how the first set went, which is not how you want it to go when you're going to do a double. I would not suggest just kind of stumbling around while holding 535 pounds. But yeah, stick around and watch that and have a laugh if you want. If you guys aren't subscribed, if you do that, that'd be way cool. Other than that, go ahead and enjoy the show. Maybe we'll stop back by and chat again in a few. So yeah, here we are. We're just, I believe that right here we got 335 on there, yeah. And yeah, everything was feeling good. Everything was feeling good today. It was just one of those days when the weights just move the way you want them to. I was trying to kind of take it slow and easy with the warm-ups. If you'll notice, I don't warm up with a whole bunch of reps, you know. I don't warm up. I don't put like, you know, 135 or 155 because I'm using the 55-pound bumper plates. But I don't put that on there and do it for 10 reps or anything like that. I'm not trying to pre-fatigue myself, especially going for like big singles, big doubles, big triples, even up to like 5, you know, even if I'm doing 5 reps, like 3 sets of 5, or even a 5x5, which I wouldn't normally program in for deadlifts, but even if I was going to do a 5x5, I'm not going to warm up some crazy amount. Like I'd rather just stand on the spin bike or do a bunch of body weight squats or maybe some like light RDLs beforehand, but then it's just 1 plate for a couple of reps, 2 plates for a couple of reps, 3 plates for a couple of reps, etc. You know, it's not a contest to see how warm I can get, because at that point I'm just going to fatigue myself and make my actual lift much harder than I would like it to be. So here we are. I believe this is going to be 515 on there, and doing it beltless. So, you know, at about 500 pounds for me is where I'm going to see how things are actually going to feel or not feel for the day. You know, it's like whether to kind of cut it short or whether to go ahead and keep going. And you know, it flew right up. There was no issue there or anything, and especially without a belt, felt nice and clean. And I considered stopping right there, but I thought, yeah, just shits and giggles, just throw on the extra 10s and make it 535 for a beltless double, which would be a PR for me beltless. So went ahead and attempted that. And if you'll watch here, when I go down for the second rep is where it gets a little bit dicey for a second there, and the video doesn't really do justice to just how dicey it almost got. You know, it was very nearly could have tipped over backwards with the weight, and that's what happens because I hadn't fully committed to doing a double on the spot. I thought I'd just go for a single, and I thought, well, or maybe a double. Let me advise you to make your mind up beforehand. Do not decide midway through the rep that you're going to do a double. because, yeah, I just decided to kind of stagger around here while holding, 535 pounds, and definitely not the way you want to go about doing that, and I was kind of joking around with the wife there. about how silly that must have looked. And in the moment, you know, if you've ever been in those kind of situations, you'll know that the way it feels and the way it looks are vastly different, and that situation can turn into a real big accident and really take you out of commission for a while. So, and that was me just not being thorough as far as what I was going to do. I hadn't made up my mind fully about what I was going to do. And so, yeah, that was the result, was just kind of stagger around a little bit with holding 535, and luckily I was able to set it down before something worse, like falling over backwards or having it slam down sideways on me or who knows what. But, yeah, the second attempt went much better. I'll go ahead and let you guys just follow through on that and throw some music on for you. So after our deadlift fiasco, we did go into squats, which was going to be a big pause double. I think it had called for like a 430 pause double, if I'm not mistaken, or 2x2 rather pause. And squats have been feeling really good for me, so I was able to up that to a 455 pause double. And again, you know, I warm up squats similar to the way I warm up deadlift. I may throw a few extra reps in with like the one plate, you know, so I might do one plate for like 6 or 8, 2 plates for 4 or 5, 3 plates for 3 or 4, 4 plates for 2 or 3, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how it pyramids up to those higher weights. Because again, when I'm going to attack a bigger weight squat, whether it be a pause or, you know, or just any kind of pinned squat, just whatever I happen to be doing that's the larger weight. If I'm, you know, in a strength block, I'm looking to become stronger. I want to attack those sets not in a fatigued state. You know, I'm not looking to pre-exhaust myself like I would be if I was squatting like during a bodybuilding phase or like a hypertrophy phase. I might hit like a bunch of leg extensions, leg press, you know, leg curls, lunges, and then go to squats. But that's not it. I'm going to start with the compound movement and start in a strong state, you know, start before my muscles are fatigued. And then leaving a couple of reps in the tank. That's how you're really going to get those big gains with squats and things like that. And here you can kind of see that the pause squats were feeling pretty good today. So that was always a good thing. But yeah, that about wraps it up. I didn't do any accessory recording. You guys kind of know what all that stuff looks like. So occasionally I'll throw those on. Other times I just figure it's all pretty much the same stuff, standard stuff. So anyways, y'all go out and get after it. We'll talk to y'all later. Take care.